Hello, I am Tuệ An. Welcome to Insightful Journey. Today, we won't discuss dry theories. I want to invite you to sit down and slow down a bit to listen to a story. The story of wealth, loneliness, and the journey to find warmth amidst the busy stream of life. Have you ever wondered, why is the most expensive bed often where people toss and turn the most? Why in the biggest house is the only echo sometimes the sigh of your own self? If you are diligently chasing money and thinking, I'll be happy once I'm rich, then the story of Tuan right after this might save the rest of your life. Tuan is a man whom at first glance any of us would want to be. At 40, he had a stable company of his own. He owned a luxurious apartment with high-end walnut furniture and a smooth German car parked in the basement. Tuan was not a distant dollar billionaire. He was just a typical successful man in this city, busy, meticulous, and wealthy. Everything in Tuan's life was perfectly scheduled. Wake up at 6 for the gym, 8 a.m. meeting, evening entertaining clients at upscale restaurants. But there was one moment in the day that Tuan feared the most. That was when the heavy wooden door of his apartment closed behind him at 9 p.m. One evening, Tuan returned home after signing a major contract. Exhausted, he loosened his silk tie and walked into the kitchen. The automatic yellow light turned on, illuminating the long, wide dining table, big enough for 8 people. On the table, the hourly housekeeper had prepared a lavish dinner, carefully covered. Braised pork with taro, simmered fish in a clay pot, crisp steamed vegetables. Delicious. But Tuan looked around. He was all alone. He pulled out a chair and sat down. The sound of the chair scraping against the wooden floor was jarring in the absolute silence. He picked up his chopsticks and suddenly looked at the chair opposite him. It was empty. The one on the left, empty. The one on the right, also empty. Tuan suddenly realized he had spent 10 years of his youth to afford this expensive dining table, but he forgot to find people to sit with. His wife had moved out with their son a few years ago, unable to endure his emotional absence. This house was now truly just his own luxury boarding house. He had won on the business battlefield, but failed miserably in his own home. The food tasted bitter going down his throat. His wealth at this moment could not fill the coldness creeping into his heart. Unable to bear the suffocating atmosphere, Tuan abandoned his meal and drove out. He drove aimlessly, then stopped at a familiar roadside fur stall he used to frequent when he first started his business. It was late at night. The stall was quiet, with only a few customers scattered around. In the corner of the stall, there was a small family. The husband wore a faded tech bike rider jacket. The wife's hands still had cooking oil on them, likely just getting off a kitchen shift. Their small child sat between them, chirping about school. They ordered 2 bowls of pho. The mother shared some meat into her child's bowl. The father skillfully squeezed a slice of lime and put some bean sprouts into his wife's bowl. They didn't have luxury cars. Their clothes were stained with sweat. But their laughter, it was strangely clear and warm. The husband wiped the sweat from his wife's forehead. Their eyes sparkled with joy, a light that Tuan's crystal chandelier could never provide. Tuan sat in the dark corner, looking at the extra special bowl of beef pho in front of him, and tears naturally fell. He realized he was so poor. He was rich in money, but poor in affection, poor in sharing, poor in those priceless, ordinary moments. In that very moment, a beam of light flashed in Tuan's mind. He understood that money is meant to serve life, but life is not meant to serve money. Tuan pulled out his phone. He called his mother in the countryside, a call he had postponed for a year because he was busy. "Hello, Mom. I'll come home this weekend. I'm craving your crab soup. I'll come and pick up Bin to stay with Grandma." On the other end of the line, his mother's voice trembled with joy. That night Tuan went home, and his sleep was better than ever. And from then on, his life changed. He still ran his business, still made money, but his dining table was no longer empty. Tuan's story shows us a simple truth that is often forgotten. Money is a great means to take us far, but only love is the sanctuary we return to. Don't let material wealth become a wall separating you from your loved ones. Turn it into a bridge for connection. But the question is, if you also feel lonely like Tuan, where do you start? Don't think that a simple phone call is enough. Connection requires an art and deep psychological understanding that I will share right after this. Don't leave, because this is the key to never having to eat alone like Tuan. Dear friend, let Tuệ An look deeply into this issue. From a psychological perspective, Maslow's hierarchy. Money helped Tuan satisfy the lower levels of Maslow's pyramid, physiological and safety needs. But true happiness lies at the upper levels, the need for belonging and love. When the stomach is full but the heart is hungry, people fall into a state of existential depression, meaning life feels meaningless despite material abundance. Tuan was stuck on the material level for too long and forgot to nurture the emotional level. From an applied Buddhism perspective, contentment and interdependence. Buddhism teaches contentment, desiring little, knowing enough. This doesn't mean not striving for wealth, but knowing what is enough to pause and enjoy the results. Tuan realized the nature of connection. He saw that the joy of the bike rider's family didn't come from the fur bowl, but from their presence for each other. Zen master Thich Nhat Hanh taught, "The most precious gift you can give to your loved one is your true presence." Tuan's money was not the mistake. The mistake was that he was absent from the lives of the people he loved most. So how do you balance money and love? Tuệ An suggests 3 simple steps, just like Tuan did. Step 1. Establish a no-work zone. Designate the dining table and bedroom as places with no phones, no emails, no contracts. They are the sanctuary of connection. When you eat, just eat and look into the eyes of your loved ones. Step 2. Use money to buy moments instead of things. Instead of buying your child a new iPad, use that money to organize a picnic trip. Instead of giving your mother a large sum of money and leaving immediately, use that money to buy ingredients and spend 2 hours cooking with her. Happy memories last longer than material pleasure. Step 3. Practice gratitude for what you have. Every day, look at what you possess. Health, job, family, and silently give thanks. When you are grateful, you crave less. When you crave less, your mind is at peace. And when your mind is at peace, you will find that true wealth lies in the soul. Dear friend, ultimately, the most luxurious car is just for transportation. The biggest, most beautiful house is just for shelter. But a home filled with laughter, a dinner with someone waiting for you, that is the place to live. Tuan in the story found his anchor not by giving up money, but by breathing soul into his money with love. I believe you can do it too. Don't wait until it's too late to realize the value of the empty chair beside you. You deserve to be rich, but be rich in your wallet and in your heart. Thank you for listening. I am still here if you need me.